Welcome to the MF Show, your pit stop for celebrity interviews. I'm Rich Waitas.
And I'm Jerry Zaiden. We're going to talk about hot car topics and everywhere the automotive industry takes us.
Today, we've got a longtime personal friend and ongoing partner here with magnaflow. And we've got Mickey Andrade, and we've come across each other a number of times just as car people, and we definitely have a history working inside with magnaflow and kind of the show circuit and the building of cars. And I think it's a great opportunity to talk a little bit more about who you are and kind of how you got here.
Yeah, I've been involved with cars like you guys probably since the beginning, and when you could afford to get your first one and start tinkering, that was sort of how I got started in cars. But a little bit deeper into my background, I'm actually Mickey from Throtl. So I work for a brand called Throtl that I started with a couple buddies 10 years ago now. And it's been a really cool journey into automotive aftermarket part sales and spinning up a YouTube channel and building cool creations for the world to watch and see at shows like the SEMA show and things like that. So it's been a fun decade of learning this influencer space and adapting to it and I guess figuring out the YouTube algorithm and things like that.
Yeah.
Good times. And, the catalyst of cars is, I think, what always brings us all together, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I think one of the interesting aspects that exists in this is that you never had a goal of being in front of an audience and building cars. And it's kind of where it took you. But I think it's a journey that you kind of came on just because of your style. And I know it's always hard to self-reflect, so I'll talk about what I see on the outside as a person who's been in the industry. And, you're in the JDM world of vehicles, and, I'm kind of known as more of a muscle car guy. But in the 90s, there was that natural clash of like muscle car and import car. That's when the import cars started coming up in the States, and everybody's mom had a Honda, a Camry, something. And those were the cars we grew up with, driving and coming to know, and oftentimes were the hand-me-downs. So
definitely the hand-me-downs.
the hot rod culture from, automotive building here, especially in California. I know that's not your native place, but it was definitely what got us into tinkering. It's the first car we got to touch. It's the first thing we got to do. And we've seen your big projects. We've featured some of them at SEMA. We've got like the EK project, which to me, if I was the high school kid that wanted to build the coolest thing ever built in a Honda, that's that. The motor, rear wheel drive, carbon fiber, this. I mean, it was the epitome of all things.
Yeah.
But
that's why I wanted to build that car.
What was the first?
What was the first car that I've built? Yeah. It was an 88 Honda Civic EF, which was the first thing I could afford as a 15-year-old in the middle of Ohio. I came up in the Fast and Furious era. That was right around the time when the first movie came out. I had been doing it before the first movie came out, but that was the fuel that fueled me into imports and the aesthetic that I went after with a lot of my builds and stuff. So the first was the 88 Honda Civic, super base model, the lowest model you could buy. Even the bumpers weren't painted and stuff. I'm sure you guys can picture it in your head. That was the first car, and it was a manual 4-speed gearbox. It was a terrible car, honestly. But it was great for me because I didn't have any money.
Right.
So the first thing was, I got it, and my dad wakes me up at 7 a.m. and says, "Hey, bud, you need to get up. Your car's leaking coolant all over the garage floor." So I go downstairs, and sure enough, the radiator had a hole in it from a rock or something. So he showed me how to fix that. He wasn't a mechanic by any means, wasn't really even a car guy, honestly, but he knew his way around a toolbox. So we pull the radiator out, take it, get it brazed and painted black and put it back in. Fixed it. We didn't even replace it. Nowadays, it's just replaced, right?
Yeah.
So fixed it, which was a cool lesson for me. And then that was where sort of my flame was lit. I was like, man, this was actually really fun and easy. Mm-hmm. And Hondas are known to be the Lego cars of the tuning world. I think they're about the easiest things to work on that there is, especially that era of 80s and 90s. Hondas was cakewalk. As long as you had a decent set of tools, you could work on it. And so that's where it started. And that car, I got really into audio at that point. I was working at an audio shop, and I was doing subwoofers and amps and lighting. And so I made the inside really cool and fun to drive. And I lowered it, put some wheels on it. And
what year is this?
This is like 94.
Okay.
93, somewhere in there. And it was an 88. So it was, I guess looking back, it was fairly new.
Yeah.
But man, I bought that car. It was 4 or 5 years old. I bought it for $3,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think a big part of the cars back then is the body styles changed more often.
Yeah.
I feel like they're keeping them 6 or 7 years
With
today.
those, in that era, it was 4 years.
Yeah.
So in the Japanese lingo, it's Zanki, Chuki, and Kuki. That's early model, mid model, late model.
Yeah.
And they were separated typically by 4 model years.
Yeah.
And you're right. Recently, they've gotten away from that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of models that are long in the tooth.
Yeah, you look at like what Toyota Tundra, the second
Yeah,
gens.
I mean, they kind
Nissan.
of refresh it, right? But a Toyota truck was, 84 to 88 was 4 years. And it was 89 to 94, but it was really like 89 to the first half of 95 was like the Toyota pickup truck. And then the Tacoma came out.
Yeah, and I think even the cars had a little bit of variation there, but it was basically
Really
4
small.
years, right?
Yeah, because I remember like my friend had probably the 89 Civic little mini wagon, like the hatchback one.
Oh, yeah, the Wagavan.
Yeah, but it was like, the Honda Civic car, but it had the back on it.
Those were all-wheel drive. That's where people are getting the differentials to make the
Interesting.
all-wheel drive. Which now they've custom billet ones and stuff. But
like a billet version.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then the
exactly.
Civic was what they had, like the DX and the EX, and like the DX was the good gas mileage one, and the EX had a couple more VTEC and
Yeah, I don't even think mine had a model. It was so low.
it was the 88. That's why.
It was so bad, dude. It was the bare bones
2-door
thing.
or 4-door?
2-door.
2-door.
It was a little
Little
hatch.
coupe, yeah.
Yeah, which I don't know if I knew back then at that point for whatever reason that one jumped out at me on the car lot, but
So
like
it did have the hatchback?
Yeah.
So it was the little wagon one. Because there's the trunk, like a coupe.
Right. Okay, I misunderstood you. I'm so
Yeah, yeah.
sorry. There is an all-wheel drive called a Wago van. That's a
No, not the
Civic wagon, actually a wagon.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Or what you're talking about is the hatchback versus the coupe notchback.
Correct.
So yeah, I had a hatchback.
Okay. Yeah.
And to me, that's where my love for hatchback started.
Well, plus for your audio, you could fit the woofers.
Boom.
Yeah.
So, I was way ahead. I think at the time I was pretty ahead of the game, but I had pulled out the spare tire well and I built a box into the actual chassis itself. Like it was all not panel bonded by today's standards, but literally liquid nails, the wood, contour cut wood into the wheel well and made the box in the car.
Nice.
And you couldn't remove it. It was built into the chassis.
car. Yeah. That was actually a thing that started coming more I would say earlier 90s that started happening.
Yeah.
It was high school for me, 91 to 94. That's when custom car audio and really getting into subwoofer enclosure building kind of became a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we were doing it, but we weren't really incorporating it into the car in so much. So I had a 89 truck, and that's what in 89, and I had to put the stereo in it. And then in 90, I got the extra cab truck because I could fit 412s behind me in the 1990 Toyota truck. And then there's a guy we worked with. His name was Todd Zier. He was out of Texas, and just a badass, talented guy. Him and a guy named Ron Albanese came out from Texas, and the stereo shop that I was running got bought out by LA Sound, Metro Sound.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it was like a cheaper brand.
Yeah, I remember that brand.
But we built this maroon Dodge Stealth
Okay.
with 8 15-inch subwoofers, but everything was built in the car with liquid nails. And,
Yes.
you'd look in the car and it was like the inside of a diamond where all each occupant had 4 15s blasting.
What an era.
Yeah, it was really cool. I mean,
What was cool about those guys is actually ironically, the sound shop I worked at in Canton, Ohio was called Rim and Trim, but we got a lot of custom audio.
Yeah.
And
it was
had a
huge
Stealth
back then.
as well.
Yeah.
Demo car and a similar setup. But what's cool is because of the way the back of the car is shaped, all that bass and everything would just bounce off the glass and come forward. The whole thing would just be doing this.
It was insane.
Well, it was SPL we were going for, right? We did not care about sound quality back then.
No.
So.
Sound pressure level for those that aren't familiar.
And there were competitions on that.
TV drags by Kenwood, man.
Yeah,
Those are
I
the
2 Orion 225 HCCA. So technically I was 100 watts, but it was like in the 140s. It was so
quarter
loud.
amp load. And
Yeah.
It's not even fair. If you had the equipment that was available today back then, it's not even fair.
Nowadays, the amps,
solid
like,
state amps.
this tiny little thing,
It fits under your
1,000 watts.
seat.
Yeah.
Versus like the Hyphonic Zeus.
Surfboards. I had those Hyphonics ones that connected.
Yeah.
And like literally you could put it on your shoulder and carry it around.
it
It's
was
that big.
gigantic.
You were strong enough. Those things were tanks.
Yeah, there was some. The Zeus was 800 watts. I had that powering 215s.
Yeah.
And
I gotta
it was
tell you
crazy
guys,
loud.
I did not think we were gonna go down this path. I did not think we were gonna be talking about car audio today.
But that's where it starts, right? So
Man.
like we were, as we were talking a little
trip down memory
earlier,
lane.
why it was Steve Strope, it was the BMX bike, and with Scheckler it was the skateboard, right?
Yeah.
Like it's, we tweak out and we customize, and like, you start off at the skateboard shop, that deck, those trucks, these bearings, those wheels, that grip tape, cut it like this, like it starts young.
Yeah.
And then, if you get a car and you don't like the way it is when it's stock, you got to mod the crap out.
I think I went from skateboarding, which I loved. And it was more of a mode of transportation for me as a teenager. But I went into BMX bikes too, because there was more things to tinker with than a skateboard, more nuts and bolts, more cool ways to modify it and change it and make it unique to yourself. And then buying the first car, that was the slippery slope. Yeah.
Well, car audio, I think, is like that first touch, though, because, doing a motor swap, albeit, yes, that was in my program. My dad would, motor swap the whole time as a kid. That's what I did up until I owned my own car. But on average, affordable wise, you can get that head unit and pop it out. They're all universal single dig units back in the day.
Yeah.
Start with your first amp and get your high frequency stuff done, and then start the enclosure, start ripping out the back seats and
Stages. Yeah.
finding out the pieces. But I mean, when you couldn't make your motor loud, because, back then you're looking at, lower horsepower. I mean, I think my S15 had a whopping 125 horsepower V6 in it, I wasn't drag racing that thing yet. And meanwhile, 4 MRV 1000s from Alpine, 2 of those things bridge down a 1 ohm to drive 2 12s and a 15. It's like, but I sounded fast.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so happy we're talking about this. I needed to remember all this stuff. You guys are ripping off model numbers, products.
Because we didn't have Instagram and all this shit to get our minds like wrapped around. Like we had catalogs. And we had remembered part numbers of what amp, what head unit, what,
Yeah, you're 100% correct.
EQ and speakers, right? Like I had the first Kicker subs when I remember when those things landed. It was like in the 80s, and it was like, dude, do you hear about these Kicker subs?
Yeah.
And I had 2 12s to start out with. My friend Bobby, he had them first, and he was like, bro, those are so sick, because they were so efficient at low wattage.
Yeah. Okay.
And we had these small amps, and these things just built great sound, smaller boxes, and they lasted. And you could even put more power at them, which was cool, right?
Yeah.
But man,
Love that era.
Yeah, and I feel like it kind of tries to come back.
Yeah.
But the head units suck so bad. Like the factory units are so integrated. Yeah.
But I think the OEMs have done a really fantastic job of sort of increasing the level and output of the factory sound systems.
Way
There's
better.
still somewhat of a letdown at the end of the day, but
No one has sub power like the aftermarket.
no,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, even I call them the bass tubes or Bose little, like a lot
Modules,
of trucks have them under the rear seat or whatever. It's fake bass, I call it, but it does the trick. If you don't want to fill up the back of your truck with
You still got to put kids in the back seat.
But what's cool now though is like, so I have a newer Raptor, and it's like has that B&O system. Sounds good enough, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I've tried to go down the road of integrating. It doesn't sound that great.
Really?
Good speakers, everything. So the best upgrade on those, it's like JL Audio makes a stealth box, Kicker makes, so they make like under the back seat of an F-150 sub.
Yep.
And you add an amp, you integrate, so you just add that bass to the sound, and you're like, I mean, I guess.
Oh, so you're not eliminating anything from the B&O
It's
system.
stock.
It's stacking
You're
on top.
just stacking a sub. So
Dang,
like, if you get 112,
Yeah.
you just give because we don't need to like make our hair move.
Right.
We just need the bass.
Yeah.
And it makes all music better.
Okay, yeah. I agree with that.
So there's really good little add-ons, but like the Jeep world has a lot.
Yeah.
They can hang from the cages.
It's,
All kinds of
it's like the boating industry somehow interrupted the car industry because you got roll bars. So they've got all the same stuff you had on.
And side by side too.
side by side's massive too. Yeah.
And they have the pods.
Yeah.
That is a neat market. There's so much going on there.
Well, it's weird because it's like it takes from all the elements of everything. It's got some of the core off-road when you talk about
loud.
Yeah. Well, in the audio for sure.
Yeah.
It's just about presence.
Yeah. And it's not quality. It's loud, right? And
You're open air.
yeah. And you're off-roading and rocks are flying everywhere.
With the helmet on, with all the noise of a loud exhaust on a, what are those things called? Those constant velocity transmissions.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
CVTs.
Yeah. But I feel like the auto manufacturers, if they just added like a little bit more sub,
Yeah,
would just be
real bass.
Real
I like to call
bass.
it.
I don't know what that price tag would cost because you already look at
much.
those systems but look at the trim levels you're getting. Like if you have the base system and then you go to the B&O, it comes on a $5,000 interior package.
Yeah. But it's like we have it, right? So it's like the back seat of the Raptor. They put this like plastic box with like a little 6.5 or an 8. It's like small.
Yeah.
Just put a 12 back there. Like feel it a little more. Like you feel it, you can hear it.
I would spend the money.
I'd spend the money.
Well, I don't know. I remember back in the day too, you were talking about cheater bass, and I remember Alpine came out with these bass engines where they literally just took the voice coil and the magnet.
They just vibrate.
And they just vibrated
So
floor
lame.
panels. I mean,
So lame.
anything to create the illusion of more bass. I mean, I don't know. That's
Stock cars come with that.
Yeah.
My wife's car has that. Like the seats shake a little bit.
Does it really?
Dumbest thing. Yeah.
Ooh.
It sounds good, but it's like it's
artificial.
Like, it's artificial. They're making the seat kind of shake. I'm like, how much did that cost? Just put a freaking 10 in it.
Yeah.
Like take up a spot in the trunk.
Yeah, exactly. Car audio is rad. I love car. I've added subs to some of my Skylines just because I want to hear it.
Yeah.
But
So is that what you're driving now? Is that like your go-to? Is this
actually no? I actually daily.
do you have?
I daily drive a Nissan Frontier, a 2025 Nissan Frontier Pro 4X that I've turned into a Nismo pseudo Nismo model because they stopped making it.
Okay.
So I reached out to Nissan and Nismo USA and said, "Hey, I used to have one of these. I loved it. You guys discontinued it. If I buy a Pro 4X, will you guys work with me if I do a build on our YouTube channel for a Nismo off-road edition one-off?" And they sent me the whole catalog for the truck.
Oh,
So
nice.
Here, go do it. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So they sent me soup to nuts, everything that they make, and I put it on, and now it's a Nismo off-road edition new Frontier, which they don't make.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool.
By the way, how cool is that now? Going back to the kid building his garage car to today earning a status that allows you a phone call with an OE and the opportunity to talk to a person to do something that they couldn't bring to market. I mean, that's pretty awesome.
15-year-old me would tell me I'm crazy if I told him that was going to happen. But man, like I look back and I remember all the work that I've put in the last 20
years. It wasn't free for sure.
You've put in the work. I mean, anyone that's done something in this industry has put in the work to get there. This stuff doesn't happen overnight. And, it takes more than just building cool cars. You have to have credibility. You have to be a man of your word. You have to do a lot of things behind the scenes that people don't see to get to a point where you can afford an email or a phone call to an executive at an OE and say, "Hey, you guys dropped the ball on this. Let me build it and show the world that
you can do this.
You can do this for yourself." And I mean, it was fun. And obviously having a YouTube audience helps with that. I mean, we've got 3 million eyeballs watching our YouTube videos. So is that 3 million eyeballs from people that are into Nissan Frontiers? No, but they're watching for the entertainment value of the builds.
But I think that story, though, is what all of us as owners of cars and tinkerers of sorts want to know still can happen. That if you can dream it and you can think it, and even though you don't have the OEM support for it, that there is a means to make that idea, your Pro 4X Nismo edition, come to life, whether it's aftermarket support, OEM support, relationships, friends. All of that, I think, is what makes this culture so unique with hot rodding, is that, hot rodding being the building of any car you want into the individual vehicle that you want it to be. It is the driving force behind what it is we do here. Everything that we do, whether it's, you guys in the media, you guys in your personal projects, what we build here, it's all about making it that one bit better in the way that we think cars could be.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that project was super fun. And as you mentioned, like we have Throtl's YouTube channel. We do lots of builds on there, everything from JDM, Euro trucks, and we're actually expanding into off-road trucks now. So I'm sure we'll be working with you guys closely with a few projects coming up this year, which is exciting. But personally, I'm into Skylines. That's my thing, Nissan Skylines. So I have a couple different variations. In fact, my workshop's just up the street from you guys here, which is pretty cool because this is my test road blowing by the front of your building here at night when you guys aren't here.
Love it.
But yeah, that's sort of where my passion and heart lies. This is where I've sort of found my sweet spot of what I enjoy and what I like to tinker with at night after I leave working on cars all day.
Yeah, so the Skylines, there's like into the 80s and the 90s. There's different years.
Yeah.
For a while there were some of these that I've seen them at like down in Newport Beach, and people are like, bro, that is that. I don't know the Skyline market very well, but he's like, that is the one right there. It's like some super uber expensive Skyline.
Probably a 34.
There's a few,
But I guess the prices, because they imported them, were like real high. But then now it's like there's more of them. So what are the prices at with these cars now? Like for a good one?
It depends. So the most desirable generations are basically from 89 all the way up to 2002.
Okay.
So, and there's an R32, an R33, and R34. And as the number increases is the newer model, right? And then you have your base models all the way up through the GTR. The GTR is the king. Basically has the 2.6 liter twin turbo, a Tesla system, all-wheel drive. It's the Godzilla is what they call it. So for me, the price is a loaded question because it can be all over the place, and it depends on, like anything, the model you have.
It's the pedigree,
right? So I have an affinity for the Autech versions, which is kind of like SVO for Ford. I'm not sure what the equivalent is for a GM or Chevy. They kind of have
it's their premier line things like GM Performance.
But the limited.
Okay, right. So it's like their in-house tuning brand, essentially, right? So Autechs are known to be very unique, and it was a different approach to a Skyline. So, for instance, they made an R32 Autech version, came with the RB26 engine, so it's a 2.6 liter displaced engine, but they made it NA for that particular model, and it only came in a 4-door. It only came in a green color that's like a cypress green. Only came automatic for some reason.
Okay,
and so it's like a dumbed down version of what a GTR would be.
Got it.
But it's highly collectible because they only made 200 of them.
Okay,
so I love those Autech versions, so I've sort of started collecting them. So I have quite a few over in my workshop.
Nice.
I have a Stagio wagon that's called an Autech version 260 RS.
Okay.
Which is a GTR wagon, for lack of a better terminology. It has the full drivetrain out of an R33 GTR.
Yeah.
Stuffed into a station wagon.
Interesting. What's it car Larry Chen brought by?
He had the Corolla wagon.
That's what that was.
It was like that. I forget the one that the name. I'm gonna hate myself for not remembering.
Does it belong to him?
Yeah, it's a personal car that Toyota helped sponsor.
Oh, is it GR Corolla?
Yes. So no. It's a wagon though.
But vintage. It
was one of the older Chaser.
Your grandma.
It's like one of the.
Oh, he has a Mark II.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mark II.
Mark okay, I'm sorry.
What it was.
That's not a wagon, is it?
I thought it was.
I think it's just a 4-door sedan.
Maybe it is.
But at any rate, that is a cult car. That is like, I get excited when I hear that. Like, that's a cool car. That's a 2JZ that we got in the Mark IV Supras here in America, stuffed in a sedan.
Yeah.
So I used to work. So I worked with Reese Millen at Rod Millen Motorsport from like 93 to 95 and a half ish. And so, it was like all
really?
this.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it's like, if anyone out there has like any of the sport compact car magazines from back then, I would like at least to photocopy a few pages. I'm in there like building cars.
Really?
I have none of them anymore.
I don't have any sport compact cars anymore. I left those all in Ohio, but I probably had seen you in there because I used to read that religiously.
The magazine was like 30, 40 pages. Then it blew up.
Yeah.
But I was always into trucks. I drove my 93 F-150 I bought brand new and bent the beams and did shocks and had a pre-runner. But I was working there building we did the Hyundai Scoop Turbo and the Toyota Supras. And I've always liked those Toyota Supras.
Yeah.
But I remember, back then, reading about the Skylines in the magazines going, dude, they're beasts. Like, these were the cars, right? We just didn't get them here in America at the time.
And that's why I fell in love with them. For the same reason. Different approach, but I couldn't have it.
Couldn't have it.
Played it on Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
Played it in all these video games, saw it in all the magazines, could never have it. All the top tuners in Japan were building them, and couldn't have it.
The coolest, the cool car. We had the RX-7, the Toyota Super Turbos.
Yeah.
Mazda had a 323 GTX, a little turbo all-wheel drive thing, but that was it. And then everyone had Hondas and would add turbos and do stuff, right? So I grew up in Huntington Beach,
dude.
And Steph Papadakis and Bergenholtz, and those were the guys that like really made these cars haul ass.
Yeah, absolutely.
But reading the magazines and learning about the cars, like, why don't we get that? Right? Like those were cool. And
that's so cool that you worked at with the Millens. I did a bunch of work with Reese. It was probably 2005, 6 in that era. But I do remember pulling up to his shop and seeing a lot of his mechanics drove trucks.
Yeah.
They weren't necessarily sports car guys, or that wasn't what they chose to drive daily, I guess, maybe.
Yeah. The truck culture is just really strong.
But I think you got a lot more fabricators in the truck culture.
Yes.
Than the sport compact culture.
Yeah.
And it's maybe changing today, but like, I feel like all the really good fabbies that I know were truck guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in the truck world, I mean, that was like the thing. The sport compact car was sort of like the mini truck world where we had full-size trucks. But then, like, you look at mini truck culture and low riding and what kind of evolved in that, you had literally almost the same type of JDM market of like modding and the types of things you would do inside of the mini truck culture, which was all Toyota trucks, Nissan hard bodies. Those were the go-to vehicles for, well, I didn't want to do it to a full-size truck, so I'm dumping this thing and, channeling the frame and putting my audio system. And, that was like that mini truck culture of the 90s.
And the Toyotas were just so good.
Simple.
Our friends that had Nissans, the U-bolt scraped the ground. Like they were spring under. Like they just did goofy things compared to the Toyota truck.
I never got into mini trucking, but I loved that era. I loved reading I used to get mini trucking magazine in the mail, but I'd never owned one. Like I had Rangers and stuff as a kid, but like I never built a mini truck. But I love I think that's probably just the tinkerer in me just loves all the little detail stuff.
Yeah. But the cars were so basic, right? The trucks and the Honda Civics and the Toyota Trays, there was nothing to them. So they were very easy to modify and personalize. Where I feel like Honda went down that road of like, you'd buy the Civic and it just came with so much aero and body kit but all fake. Like none of the vents were real vents. Like it looks like a vent.
Yeah.
So they kind of like, I don't know, like they made them a little more expensive, but gave you a bunch of garbage versus
stuff that shouldn't cost money.
Yeah, like how do you mod this thing out, right? So,
I think that's the one thing on the Japanese car companies.
Yeah.
When they saw the culture and the subculture really in the automotive modding market happen, they're also more resistant to changing from their core business. Like you look at Toyota and Honda, the cars for the most part remain the reliable fuel economic. And even when they dabbled in like the Integra, the Type R's and the things, they still had to have all the other features. I mean, if you had a CRX SI got 42 miles a gallon, it was still their sport car.
Yeah.
So it always stayed true to form. They would never deviate and, go make a Demon that got 8 miles to the gallon and made 700 horsepower.
Right.
It was an interesting culture piece because they would never abandon their primary path, which I wanted the style of the Aero, but I could never implement it and make it that way because it's going to affect fuel
like
economy.
A really basic, 93 Honda Civic EX looked just like the DX. It just had a smaller engine, or the EX had the bigger engine. And then they got them all like body kitted out and aluminum wheel. Like they just tried to be like, well, people are doing this, so let's do it our way.
Yeah.
But then that kind of crushed the mod.
I think you're thinking of like the FK8, which was the one that has all the aero all over. It's like more of a recent model, like two models ago. And like the wide fenders, but the vents don't go anywhere.
Yeah, they have this big in both corners in the back, these black areas.
Yes, it was blanked.
But it's blanked.
Yeah. That was one of the things that when that car first came out, it really was lost on me. I was like, man, I want to like this. Yeah. Because I feel like Honda lost their way back in like 2000.
Oh, yeah. That's my point.
And it's sort of been
they kind of
a dead brand for almost 2 decades, going on 3 decades. And now they've sort of figured it out, I think, and gotten back to
They're getting back to it now.
I think so. I mean, the FL5, which is it's a 4-door Civic.
Okay.
But man, it is it's a beast at the racetrack.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like, I'm not kidding when I say it is a weapon.
Nice.
And the FK8 was a step in that direction, which is the one that you're talking about with all the faux aero and just, looked kind of cool, but I never got into it until now. Now I look back at it, I'm like, okay, the aftermarket is now supporting this with tons of products. You can take those faux vents out and put functional vents in. Like, people are making that stuff. A nice set of wheels, lower it, and you put an oil cooler on that thing, and it's also a weapon at the track. So they are good cars, but that one in particular, the FK8, required a lot more tinkering, I like to call it. But the FL5, I rode in Dustin Williams' FL5 at Willow a few weeks ago, and I was very impressed.
Well, I mean, you can't take the heritage away from their performance division. I mean, it's probably one of the most underrated performance cars. You take the new NSX, for example, and you look at what Honda Acura did with that thing. That is a beast of a car. Yeah. But it is so understated as a supercar.
Yeah.
But it makes supercar numbers.
Is it even considered a supercar?
I don't think so.
That's the thing.
So. Yeah.
It should be.
Yeah. By all like performance standards, it is.
Yeah.
But aesthetically, they kind of numbed it down to something that...
I think the look of it's a little too soft. I feel like the ones they made like in the 90s were just like, they looked...
Sex is a bomb. That styling machine.
The original ones, they kind of have more of that like kind of LMP look to them, right? Where like, it looks like something racing Le Mans.
Honestly, man,
the new ones
think a lot of the Japanese sports cars from that era still look good to this day.
They do.
Yeah.
They
It's
really
like,
do.
what were they doing back then that made these cars still feel relevant today?
Yeah.
Like, you look at the Mark IV Supra, you look at the Skylines, you look, what?
They were core. They were honest. They weren't gimmicky. And I feel like the cars got a little gimmicky.
Yeah,
They
I can
got
agree with
soft.
that. I can agree with that. But how do all these manufacturers each have a designer that's on that level? Like the Mazda RX-7 looks like a car that could come out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The FD RX-7 is still such a beautiful machine.
Yeah.
That
The original ones are all amazing. Like my son and
that's
I
what I'm
joke
saying.
about it, and we're like, if we had the garage space, we would have this like collection of 90s cars, because like late 80s, early 90s cars were just all like a Toyota Supra Turbo today. If you found a bone stock one,
well,
right?
you pay $200,000 for it, but
Yeah, but there's a reason for that, right? I always joke, I'm like, and if anyone out there is listening, I do want a 4-cylinder stick shift Toyota 4x4 truck from 89 to the first half of 95.
unmolested.
Just the pickup truck, the stock
The
one.
base one.
Yeah, but 4-wheel drive.
Okay.
Right? Extra cab, 4-wheel drive, 4-cylinder stick shift.
Why does that resonate with you?
I just think they're the coolest truck ever built. I just do. Like,
We got to find you one.
I've been looking. I'm always looking. There was one someone sent me. It sold for $27,000 at one of the last auctions. It was maroon. I don't really want a maroon one. White,
No.
black, gray, silver. That's what I want. I would
Right.
probably do all red,
Anything else but maroon.
but not maroon. Yeah, or the blue. They have a goofy blue color too. I'm not a big fan of.
So what would
they're
you do
cool.
with that?
Just put 31s on it and some Bilstein shocks. Do a little magnaflow exhaust. Call it stock and good. And daily driver.
I can appreciate
Just such a cool truck. And but it'd be, the rims would be like American Racing Outlaw 2s or the
Era
5-spoke
specific, yeah.
AR-23. Like it would
So it
be
looked like it came out of a time machine from that era.
correct. And just stock and
I
clean.
love that, man.
Yeah.
But there's something about the 90s in particular, and it doesn't matter which genre of car you get into. It was pre-computer control.
Correct.
And if you had computer control, there was a way around it. Like I remember injection problems and things, and people would have a way to get around it mechanically. Resistors, basic items, things you didn't have to have software for.
They were just analog.
Yes.
They were
And
so
what
simple.
you did had a result.
Yeah.
And it came out the same every time. Now, I mean, you can go
So
back
simple.
and talk about those Miatas that everybody says it's like, the what do you want to call it, community scooter? Everybody will ride it, but no one wants to take a picture with it. It's like there's something about those cars that's just simple, analog, direct connection that even it doesn't have to have the big power today. Because like you buy a Toyota Camry with 330 horsepower, you'll blow away any of the cars in the 90s.
Yeah.
But it's
I think a
numb.
Prius is faster than everything from the 90s.
Yeah.
Not even joking.
It's funny. I just had this realization that you just mentioned it. Coming home from my hockey game the other night, I'm on the 78 freeway, and my girlfriend's 330 Xi.
Yeah.
Just total. It's just her daily car, BMW, and I'm going to get on the next freeway, and I jam on the gas pedal, And this little 4-cylinder turbo, this thing is quick.
Yeah.
I never drove it like that because I was like, it's just a 330.
And it gets 40 miles a gallon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it has leather interior and it's comfortable.
What year is it? Is it a newer one?
Yeah, it's like a 22 or 23.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
4-cylinder turbo. Yeah. If we would have had that when we were kids, dude, Ellie and they would be sitting here.
Yeah.
Danger.
Yeah, no, you're right. Because 300 horsepower.
Coming straight from the factory.
Yeah.
And it's responsive, and they do all the tricks now with ECU and exhaust flow and all that stuff to make it like
instant boost.
Yeah. Back then, you throw a turbo 7 and think you're waiting for it to spool up. All right, here it goes. Then it's all hell breaks loose, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And now you just buy that from the dealer, and it's factory serviced, and it's quick. And
it's funny. You take the old adages, like back in the day, you'd go and upgrade your turbo, and God forbid you didn't put a turbo timer on it, and you turned off your car while it was boiling hot, and you didn't let the oil run to cool it back down. And it's like now you look at cars, they're running 1.5 bar stock on a small displacement motor, air conditioned, full blast. Just after you're done beating the hell out of it, you put it in your garage, shut it off, and walk away, and start it the next morning as if nothing happened. It's pretty wild.
It's a different world.
For sure.
It's crazy because that's not that long ago.
No.
The OEs have come a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's amazing that the aftermarket has kept up, and if not, has influenced a lot of what has happened over that time, because it's always been, I think, the responsibility of us in the community to push limits. And, I think it's always funny, the first car you see off of a assembly line that the first influencer grabs today, puts it out there. He's going to every shop he can to find out someone who's going to rip a turbo off and put it on. He doesn't care if it runs,
right?
But he wants to go figure it out. And I think that ideology that sits inside the aftermarket is sort of the interesting component. Is there's no such thing as can't tinker with. There's no such thing as can't make it better. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the kind of fun behind like the car culture. And even today, we're in a world where the only pony car you can buy is going to cost you $60,000. There's no more Camaro. There's only a Mustang. You're buying a Corvette in the Chevy line.
Yeah.
Dodges are trying to, catch back up with bringing back a V8.
Did you see that?
Hold on.
Yeah.
A new Mustang is $60,000.
Oh, yeah.
For a V8 one.
Starting at 50.
59 is what we bought one for, yeah.
What is going on?
Yeah, the one we had. Yeah. But yeah, I think a base one's probably...
You can get a full cylinder. Yeah.
No, but the V8 one, right? What's
the cheapest GT is, I think, like 52 now.
Yeah. Everything's expensive.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. And that's what made Porsche so popular until now. Their brand new cars are, they've gone from like 95 grand to 135 grand for a base.
Yeah.
But back to turbos and performance, you get a little 3-liter engine, twin turboed, and 400 horsepower, 0 to 60s in 3s.
Yeah.
Like it's really fast stock.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of 100 horsepower add-ons, right? That make a big difference.
Yeah. I mean, and normal people are driving these cars.
Yeah, every day.
It's kind of scary, actually.
Cars and coffee, or we were at the Long Beach Grand Prix. Mother's does their paddock, and we're always got the semi there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just look in the parking lot now. Like, what is it? It's all Ferrari, Lambo, Porsche, McLaren.
Yeah.
Like, it's just the parking lot now. So it's like the Mustang culture. Like, let's just say that culture, it's kind of died, but then Ford's kind of reintroducing the GTD, kind of going after the GT market. Yeah. And they have their new Black Horse, which is a supercharged.
The Dark Horse SC. Yeah.
Yeah. And that car's going to be pretty bitching, but it'll be about 100 grand.
Mm-hmm. Oh, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a weird world right now, huh?
Well,
Because now that you say that, I'm thinking about it. You're right.
Think about what's in the parking lot that people actually pay attention to. It's going to be what you have, the older vintage.
Yeah.
Like, no doubt about it, that car's awesome.
Yeah.
The M3s are kind of cool, right?
F80s are really popular right now.
Yeah. And then it's like Porsche everywhere, whether it's air-cooled or turbo. Or
everyone's into Porsche now.
Yeah.
I'm noticing that too. Had this conversation at lunch yesterday, actually.
It's interesting because it used to be, the Porsche purist name, right?
Yeah.
It used to only be about collectability, about rarity, about maintaining stock. And I think this is the beauty of what I call hot rodding. It's the minute you start allowing customization, personalization, it blows up. And when Porsche embraced that, or to the point now,
it's really
you order your car with the leather you want, with the color variations you want, with or without
carbon
weight.
fiber package.
But it's
brushed
your
aluminum.
car.
chrome, painted. Yeah, every cars and coffee I go to, it's funny because like, you know, we have the ones where all the Porsche guys go to, and then it mixes with some of the guys, and I sit back and listen, and I think you nailed it right on the head. Is you can order the car, what color stitching, what color leather. Now I've also toured the Porsche factory in Stuttgart, and I watched these cars get made, and it is not fully automated.
Really?
It's human hands. Like literally, you get 2 breaks a day. You can have 2 beers and a cigarette while you're working on a Porsche. Like you can literally, like your break, they wheel it.
You're not making that's a thing?
That's a thing at the Porsche factory. So like,
Man.
they'll have a smoke break and can drink a beer. You can have 2 a day.
Okay.
You can smoke. So that guy working on your car drank a beer, smoked a cigarette, and he's working on your car.
Craftsman.
That's why the cars are awesome.
I mean, I do that in my shop. I smoke a cigarette.
Yeah, but it's wild. You're like they're literally a dude's pushing pallets of beer to the break room, and you're allowed 1 beer per break, or I don't know. Maybe you could have 2 you just get 2 a day as the rule. But you start at the
Unreal.
top. The car
That's neat.
comes from one building across the road up top, out of the paint shop, and it starts in there, and you got like the leather getting cut, and the guys cutting out the leather in the different patterns. And
So this just doesn't come pre-stamped and already sewn together.
they have sheets of leather. They're cutting it on the floor. Like if you ever get the opportunity to go, you got to do it, because it is still that raw, and it is automated.
That does help explain some of the cost.
Yeah.
But it's not robots doing it.
Yeah.
It's humans doing
It's
it.
not the 2 beers a day that we're paying for.
No. I hope I'll gladly pay for that guy's right. But it's really cool to watch like the craftsmanship and the raw that goes into a Porsche.
Absolutely.
But like Richard just said, it's you could pick out all those little details, and if you really want to spend money, you could even send them a sample of a color, and they'll paint it.
It's wild.
Right.
Yeah, that's out of my pay grade, but maybe someday.
Yeah, what someone did, a build on a base 911, like fully loaded, was in the 2s.
Jeez. Really?
Like it was like 260 grand. You're like, bro, you could have just bought the turbo S.
Yeah.
It just comes with it. But no, it's my custom car.
Yeah.
But even on the aftermarket.
Man, I didn't even know that. That's how blind I am to that world. I didn't even know that was like a thing, that you could spec it up so high that you could get a Turbo S.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, go to the Porsche website and build
Crazy.
a 911, and there's a base, there's an S, there's a GTS, a GT3, a Turbo S, but they all have turbos, keep in mind.
Yeah. It's very convoluted, I'll be honest. I've looked there and like, oh, this is a lot to take in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's cool about the Porsches is you can buy the ugliest one. I'm not saying it's the ugliest one. I actually think it's cool, but the 996, which would be the 99 to
the runny eggs headlight one.
to 95. No, sorry. So it was the 98 to 04 had those headlights.
Kind of considered the ugly duckling by today's standards.
Hideous.
But I like it.
First in the liquid
But
cooled.
that car in a turbo
Yeah.
is bulletproof.
Yeah.
That Metzger engine, you could mod it. But all those cars, when you see the young kids will pick one up, I got it for 26 grand and it's got 80,000 miles, it's full carbon fiber interior. Like that's actually pretty cool for 26 grand.
Yeah.
That's
Super reliable.
it's probably worth 4 times that.
No, that would be like a 996.
Oh,
Like,
really?
They're in like the 25 to 40,000 range for a non-turbo.
You go buy them all up.
And they're manual. And that's what I tell my son. I'm just like, you're born in 01, go get a birth year turbo. He's like, I don't have anywhere to put it. But but you can mod those. And then if you go back a generation from today, like the 991.2, they're all turbo, super easy to mod. And I'm talking like a programmer and an exhaust, like
The 992?
the 991.2.
Oh, got you. Okay.
Which is the 17 through 19 or whatever.
Yep.
They're all twin turbo 3 liters. You can whip it, you can exhaust it, and it's like another 150 horsepower. And they haul ass.
My favorite era is the 997. I don't know
997s are so
why. I just feel like it's the last of the analog Porsches.
in a way it is, yeah.
It feels
Well,
like
it's
the
also before they got
love
as big
Porsches to
as
me.
they did.
Yeah, it still seems like a kind of a smaller. It's also like an R32 GTR. They started to kind of get big and bulky and heavier as the time went on.
Yeah, those are the 05 to 09 cars.
Yeah. You get in that car and it still feels nimble and sharp and
They're great.
Yeah.
But even the 996 feels like that when you drive one. But yeah.
I mean,
But the 997 and the .27s, like they're absolutely amazing.
one day, man, one day.
It's a question I get asked every once in a while from just car guy conversations, but we always talk about meeting your heroes, like in the real world of like the people that you look up to, and is it all that it's supposed to be when you do get to meet them? And it's there are those people that are, and there's a lot that aren't. What is it like though having that poster car? I had this conversation with like TJ and a few other people that we work with. You have that poster car you put up there as your vehicle that you want as a kid. You've got your R34.
Yeah.
Is getting that hero car everything that you thought it would be?
Yes, I think I would say it is. But I would say for me, because I have a story behind the 34 that makes it sort of so special to me. This is my first job my first real corporate job in automotive was at Falcon Tire, where I was managing the marketing team with another gentleman named Nick Fusekis. And basically, he had on the wall outside his office that I had to walk into every day a picture of the Nürburgring R34 that won that year. It was like 02 maybe. Cresting one of the Nürburgring hills with the front wheels about to come off the ground, and the Falcon blue and teal colors down the side of it, and the Hofbrauhaus like logo across it. I mean, it was just like
so cool.
I get goosebumps even talking about it right now. And that car, because I looked at it so much and next to his office, ingrained in me like, man, that's sick, and I need to own one of those someday, but I can't because they're not available here. Once I got to a point in my career where I was able to afford a Skyline, I bought an R32, and I realized how damn good that car is. I'm like, man, if this is this good, the R34 has to be that much better. So when the time came and I was able to get one legally here in America, because you have to wait till they're 25 years old, aged, to import into America because of the gray market rules and stuff. Once I was able to get it, I actually bought it in Japan, and I left it there for 2 years because it wasn't eligible to come here. But at that point, I could afford that car. Today, I can't afford that car.
So you bought the car and left it in Japan for 2 years.
Bought it in Japan from a company called Top Rank Importers, and they provide this epic service where they will sell you the car. They will store it at their warehouse facility. They charge you a small fee every month to store it in their...
Oh, hold on a second. Zach, you're not. Plug yours.
Look them up.
Yeah.
But they will store it there until it's eligible to be exported to America, which is super cool. And I've done this a few times now. And then what I did was I booked at least 2 trips a year. I'd go to Tokyo Auto Salon, which is basically their SEMA. And I'd go over for a Skyline event, which is called Ours Meeting, or they have Nismo Festival, which is their motorsports division. And I would get to drive the car. They would rent the car to me. My own car. I've paid for it. It's mine. But they actually will register it in their name under their rental firm and rent you your own car so that you can legally drive it in Japan. You show up with an international driver's license, which you get at AAA, it's $20.
Wow.
And go drive the countryside of Japan instead of riding the rail system, which I still think you should do if you go experience Japan. But to experience Japan in a car and go experience the Toge roads, go look at all...
How was driving the right-hand drive on the wrong side of the road and all that?
You mean here? Or there?
There.
Okay, so here I actually find it quite easy because I'm used to it. But there, it's actually more difficult because they don't have traditional stoplights like we have here. They're actually sideways, and they have different meanings and things. So it's a little more difficult and a little bit nerve-wracking when you're the first person at the red light, especially if you're making a turn, because you're like, wait, can you make a left on red in Japan? You can, but there's only certain intersections. You have to look for a sign that happens to be like 100 yards before the light. And so if you've passed it, there's no way to find out that I'm aware of.
Except for a horn.
Well, they're so polite that they don't honk at you unless it's a taxi cab guy. Some of those guys do. But right-hand turns for me were the hardest, Jerry, because you're in a right lane at a light, and you have your own, like here we have an arrow, right, to make a left.
You see, my brain just told me to hug the curb, which you wouldn't do.
Yeah, no, that's the mind bender, is that you have to go wide.
Yeah.
And so I just
thought
someone caught on camera me turning the wrong. Someone got me going into oncoming traffic. One of my friends was following me, and he was filming just by accident. Yeah. I was pulling out of a place we were visiting, and I went into oncoming traffic, but there was nobody coming, thankfully.
Luckily.
And I didn't realize it right away. And I was like, oh, and luckily the median hadn't started yet, so I was able to yank it back.
Because you could just go down the bridge underneath and be,
Dude, it's a little nerve-wracking, I'll be honest. But once you get the hang of it, it's so fun. And the experiences that you can have in your own vehicle in Japan without having to rely on the rail system and all that, which is really cool too. But to be able to go just do your own thing, so nice.
But the right-hand drive here isn't too difficult.
No, because the rules of the road are the same. You're used to looking at the same lights, and there's no funky signs that are in Japanese that you can't read.
Yeah.
And it's a lot easier here for sure. What I find is that people, and I do it too, is like you kind of wander in a lane because you are on the right side of the car.
You want to move.
You find yourself hugging the line.
The right line.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because then you know the left side of the car, which you're not sitting on, isn't hanging out in the lane. Because that's like a big fear when you first start, I think, is like, oh, am I in my space?
It's just different.
So now it's second nature, but I think when you first do it, it's, you know.
So what are these cars selling for the R34s?
I never answered your question. Yeah. Anywhere from, I mean, dude, you can buy it's just like any car. You can buy a bad example for fairly inexpensive. Mm-hmm. Like, let's say you can buy an R32 GTR that's not in good condition for probably in the 20s.
Okay.
Probably. But like an R34 GTR that's pristine, maybe it's an M-Spec NER or something like that, those are $500,000.
Wow.
So it's a really big...
I think that's the one we saw at Crystal Cove.
Probably. There's a few of them running around. So the M-Spec NER was the last, I believe, 189 models made in the R34 GTR. There's a color called Millennium Jade that's very desirable. It's like a greenish off green, like a lighter. And they are in that $450,000 to $500,000 range. Wow. And the last Bring a Trailer one sold for $455,000 or something. Wow. So they're up there. I recently just built one for a client that keeps it at thermal and actually puts it on track. Wow. Actually, he had me find the car over in Japan. I bought it, got it here through Show and Display because it's an 02. It's not available till 27 to be imported, but under a Show and Display regulation, because it is limited to under 500 production units, they're eligible for that. Okay. As I said, it's 189 total pieces. So we got the car here. It took a while, but got it here. And then he said, oh, I want you to spec it out. So Omori factory is like in Japan is Nismo. That's what they call their Nismo factory, so Omori factory. So I went in there, purchased all of the Z-Tune parts, which is a special line of products they make. It's all carbon composite, dry carbon stuff, race car shit for these R34s, which to me is the coolest thing.
Yeah.
Spec'd it out for him, got all the parts here, and built this just dream spec of a Skyline and handed it off to him, and I've never seen it again. But one of the cool things he told me was, hey man, I took the car out on thermal and I had the owner of Singer in the passenger seat with me, and I told him this thing handles better than my Singer. And he sent the car back. I have the car back now, and it's getting twin turbo upgrade, clutch, a bunch of upgrades now because he now is like has something to prove to the owner of Singer, one of the guys, the head guys at Singer, that this car is that good. So if that says anything, I mean, that's pretty cool. That car was made in 2002. That's an old car at this point. For him to say that, and this guy has Sennas and all kinds of crazy cars in his collection, and
these are just cool.
Yeah, I think just like me, growing up in the Fast and Furious era, looking at those and the unobtainium part of it is just you want something you couldn't have. Grass is always greener on the other side. TJ also mentioned that how much love he has for his R34 as well. It's just a fantastic car, and it's in that cusp of before everything got super techy, but while it still felt a bit analog. Yeah. And it falls in that perfect era, I think, and that's what makes it what it is.
Yeah. That's really
so
cool.
Those cars can be, there's some like that are over $1 million.
Or that's like
a good 34 is 150.
Okay.
120, 150, 120 on a low end with some mileage and a driver, and maybe not Bayside Blue or Midnight Purple. It's a white one, or it's a silver one. Okay. Those are in that like 120 range.
So they've really held their value.
Oh, absolutely, man. Yeah. Like, look, I'm not a rich guy. I own a few Skylines, which would say I'm a rich guy. but I don't play the stock market. That I invest in cars.
In the cars, yeah.
And those were my investments. And so if I need to cash out, I can sell those. And I've made a few bucks on each of them at this point. So, and I'm having fun tinkering with them. Like
how cool is that too? It's like all my Porsche friends and 90s car friends, like their cars and watches have been a great investment.
Yeah.
Like a great investment.
Yeah.
I bought my
Absolutely.
first 964 and that was in 2018. It was like 40 grand. Like they weren't that hot yet.
Yeah.
And they were good. They were hot because they weren't 20 grand. Now they're 40 grand.
Now it's how much?
And that car is 125.
Yeah.
A 964.
Yeah.
Right.
Tell me one stock you've bought that's done that.
Well, I have a couple, but not as fun.
I don't.
Not as fun. Yeah.
But it's not as fun because you know what? You can't get out and drive your
You
stock.
can't just sell the stock.
You can't throw an
use
exhaust system on your
You
stock.
can't enjoy it 100%. And that's why I think like the car culture's had this huge growth of enthusiasts, of people who grew up. And it's funny because I'm always like, why do you need more than like one car? I'm like, well, look at all the pictures of me. I didn't have one Hot Wheels car. I had like 100 of them.
Yeah.
And so that's why,
Yeah.
right? Like, and you look at the Christmas picture my mom sends me, right? Where I'm like,
Just ask her why
5,
she
6
has
years
so many shoes.
exactly.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do
Yeah.
that. I've done that. It didn't end
If I
well.
want to own cars, I can't ask that question.
Exactly.
But it's like, you get the toy and it's like got the Jeep with a trailer with a buggy on the back. And then there's motorcycle. It's just one package of toys
Yeah.
came with all the stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's how I was raised. They got us really young.
Yeah.
Looking back, I can see it. But what it is it's just the love for these vehicles.
Yeah.
The demand is through the roof. I don't care what anyone says. It is through. It's just supply and demand. Just the law of finance is kicked in.
Yep.
And we've all grown up and got jobs.
Yeah.
We're working.
So there's some level of disposable income, and
Yeah.
the choice is yours to spend that money on what you want.
Yeah.
And
why
I
would
want to have fun.
stick it in, over there and not even get to enjoy it? Like
Yeah.
it's for the future. Well, these have gone up and they're going to continue.
Exactly.
Right. So
Yeah.
very, very cool for sure.
It's fun for me. And, when I leave this building today, when we're done here, I'm going straight there to do just that, to go tinker.
And so what other cars do you have then? So you have your truck and the R34s.
Yes, I have a R32 GTR and R33 Autech version 4-door GTR, which
Okay.
is also ultra. You'll never see another one probably.
Okay.
I have the R34 GTR V-Spec, which is I brought to you guys' open house, and that has undergone a lot of changes since it was here. I have the 260 RS Stasia wagon, which is also essentially a Skyline. I have a Silvia, which is the sort of the little brother. It's like in America, it's called a 240 SX. So we have an S14, which is 95. Then I have a S15, which is the next generation, which was not available here either. Again, the law of can't have it, so now I need it. That one is 100% bone stock Spec R, which is basically the 5.0 Mustang of spec or of S15s. That one's just sitting in my shop, that's ready to do a project on. I've kept it as sort of if it stayed stock, that's fine because it's worth money. But I could also still buy brand new parts from Nissan for it. So you can still buy an armrest, a door card. A lot of these things are still available, airbags, steering wheels, so I can restore it.
Nice.
It doesn't need it, but
Yeah.
I like that. It's a blank canvas. If I need to make some content, I can pull it down off the lift and start working on it, which is pretty cool. And I have a 1969 Skyline as well.
Wow.
Which is called a Hakoska. It is not a GTR. Those are they start in the 250K range for a nice example, and they'll go up north of 7 figures.
Okay.
So the one I have is more of like your, how would you call it? Like a Camaro RS.
Mhm.
It's like the lower model, same shape, same body, aesthetic is great, but it's not the big motor. So not as cool, but I didn't feel like dropping $250,000 on a 69 that's going to sit in my shop. It's basically there because it was available to me. It was a 4-door, which my Autech version 4-door is the 40th anniversary of that car.
Okay.
So I wanted to have them
collectible.
both in the same room.
Yeah, it's art. It's art. So all Nissans.
Yeah, all Nissans.
Very cool.
Yeah,
You're a completionist, though. You've got to have the model, the consecutive model, the sister car.
Yeah. It's weird like that. And I think some of us, it's it's a habit or just the way we're wired. I guess some of us are weird, but yeah, now I'm on the hunt for all the Altecs. So like I'm trying to close a deal on a R32 Altec as we speak, like this week, hopefully. So what I want to do is have them all under one roof. And I haven't done this yet, but this logo on my shirt is my workshop. It's called Round Cat. It's named after my 30-pound fat cat. And I keep them all in one place. And eventually what I want to do is be able to open that space for other enthusiasts to come through, walk through, look at the cars, sit in the cars, hear the cars, have a seat in my little library in there and look. I have a massive collection of all of the original OEM books and catalogs and all that from Nissan's heritage, but from the 60s all the way to current day.
Nice.
I have every R35 GTR owner's manual or catalog that the dealer would have handed out. Some of them signed by Hiroshi Tamura. So that's the level of nerdiness that I go to with this stuff. Like we're surface level on this podcast, but like if you walk in there, it's like skyline heaven. And I've spent the last probably 10, 15 years collecting all these diecast and catalogs and books and just nostalgia from those eras of the different chassis.
Okay.
So it's actually a really neat place. And when I have it finished, I'll have you guys come through and check it out because it is just right up the street.
On that. That's really cool.
That's the funny part about the car culture that I run into is there's a lot of people, and I've earned a little bit of like recognition, fame from like TV shows and things. And I'll get some random person that'll come by and say, hey, I've got this cool car, what? And these are people that you wouldn't recognize from or differentiate from anybody else at a car show. And they're like, can I show you something? And they're like, this is my car collection spot. Come over here. And I met like this one guy who's Lindsay Construction. I guess they built the Irvine Spectrum. And he's retired, obviously, from that build, and his son took over the business, and they did the revamp of that, and he's retired, and he's turned all of his own office buildings into these little man caves. And after the car show, we're at Cars and Coffee. We drive up to back end of Foothill Ranch, and you open the door, and it's a front office. You go in the back room, and he's got a Yenko Camaro, a Yenko Nova. He's got all of these like Copo parts sitting on a wall where he's having these cars restored. But he's got the AC Delco air filter cleaner checker valve, which has got the little ping pong ball. And he's got every piece of paraphernalia from GM parts throughout this entire collection. And it's in a blank thing that says Lindsay Construction. And as you walk through, he's got Southern California gasoline signs that were the porcelain ones when they tore down gas stations, because his construction business did a bunch of different things and he kept them all. So he's got all of his old classic Shell, Chevron, and his big thing was he's like, I gathered all this stuff. He goes, I want to figure out how to bring people here and share that, because you'll be amazed at how many of barns out in Temecula that were wineries.
There's just in Orange County.
It's so cool how much
there's
culture.
One up the street from our workshop in Sereno Valley. There's a guy that's totally unsuspecting concrete building. Yeah. And inside, he literally has like a 50s city built. Wow. A barbershop, an ice cream parlor.
Yeah.
And he has this whole collection. And this guy, apparently, I don't know this for a fact. I have friends that have been invited there. I've never been inside. Apparently he wins Pebble Beach every year with some Duesenberg or something that he has that literally it only comes out once a year. It goes up there, wins its trophy, it comes back, it's blown apart, rebuilt, put back together. It's like a cyclical thing. And same, just an ultra wealthy guy, doesn't want the notoriety, doesn't want the fanfare, just wants to tinker, do his thing, build his little city internally in there and have fun. And he invites people from the Rancho Santa Fe Cars and Coffee once in a while to come back, like-minded individuals. Yeah. Very quietly, very privately.
Yeah, in Orange County, I could think of 20 people right now. You would have no idea, and then you go to their shop and your jaw just drops.
Yeah.
Like,
I love that.
The art on the wall, or, one of them look up like Swank Rides on Instagram, right? So like he's got, and all of his cars are perfect. Yeah. Like, he'll go drive it. He pulls it in, not to park it, but to the other door, and it gets fully detailed. Tires and rims off. Everything's cleaned. All the brakes.
That's a different level of collector.
Level. Yeah. But he has the first year of a Corvette, and it's perfect. He has the first year of the Lincoln Continental. It's perfect. He has the Duesenberg. He's restoring the the Cadillac Brougham. It's like a 57 or 58 Brougham, but like he's on a search for the right parts, and it takes years because they just don't exist, right?
I appreciate that so much.
And
that
so if you ever
someone has that dedication.
Have you ever seen Finish Line car storage, and it backs the airport in Orange County?
No.
But you'll always see the picture of his unit because everyone's got a square. It's like a car condo.
Okay.
He's got one for fun because he's part of it, but he's really got his other building in Huntington.
Is it a hangar or is it?
No,
it's actually a building.
It's a big building. They make car condos, so you basically spend $1,000 a square foot, including the mezzanine space, to own. So if it's 1,500 square foot on the floor and 500 square feet upstairs.
Live in there. You can build it out.
No, just for your cars. It's just a car condo.
So what's the mezzanine for?
Their bar.
You can build a lounge or whatever.
It's a
in there.
lounge.
Okay,
He's got two old Fords or something like steam engine powered with the big round thing. I don't even know what they are. Like they're that old. But he's got his old original Bentley, and he's got a real Cobra, and everything's black. It's all brick, but he radius the roof. Like it's everything detailed.
My hero.
Like he's one of those guys that's like everything's got to be perfect. Like even this boat, he bought a Viking boat, and the valves at the bottom that you turned.
Yeah.
He had all those sanded and polished. Like everything's everything's
Oh yeah, can't have the rough. Yeah.
a whole nother level. But he's one of many.
Okay, I'm not there.
But you're in the culture and the world you're in, you're beyond there, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what's cool. And I kind of think about that sometimes. Like, you walk into the atrium here, like, how do we curate this and park the car on something cool? And
Bro.
If
If you guys haven't been to the magnaflow headquarters, this place is magnificent.
It's
you
pretty cool.
you say that like how can we curate this? But I'll tell you, walking in the front door, this place looks perfectly curated.
It's really cool for sure, but it's like you
What more can you do?
I don't know. Park it on like a little platform and have like a vibe to it. I don't know. I just think of those little.
It's weird because there is no end.
There's no end. Yeah,
You can always
I feel like
tinker
it's
with
too
it.
small in there now.
Yeah.
Because we can't fit, and we work with so many people. Like I would want to be like, hey, let's put that Throtl car in here, one of those specialty cars.
Yeah.
Because all these things like they have magnaflow exhaust or whatever on them, and it's like, now with the off road part to magnaflow, it's like what's that old vintage cool off road thing we could put in here, like one of Ivan Stewart's things, or
You're just gonna have to build a bigger building, man.
I know.
Well, and if you've been to Hendricks Motorsports and seen that,
Oh, I can't even imagine.
it's his best friend. It's funny. I can't remember
It's
his name.
cheap out there, so you could do a lot.
Oh
more.
yeah.
Mooresville,
And-
Statesville.
Just
He's-
anywhere but California.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
His
fair.
best friend's job title is vice president of frivolous spending, and he curates his collection. And to the point of, if you're familiar with what he buys, like he gets like the number one, Mecum or whatever auction car, Corvette or Camaro is, and he gets the number 7 also because the number 1 is like usually like a certain color combo, and the number 7 is a certain color combo. He buys them for every year, and he stacks them up in there. He's got a collection of convertible Corvettes Gen 2s that he has an outdoor, like a, what do you call it, drive-in movie theater that he's set up inside with all the possible interior and exterior color combinations. So
I buy the catalog, but he buys all the cars.
Yeah.
they took me into the
look at the
catalog.
The art for the wall. They have
He's
the
got
actual.
all of those in Tupperware with the manuals for every one of the cars.
Yeah.
And that's this dude. I bet his only job is to make sure
find
that
it.
those bins are full of the correct manuals.
Yeah.
The cars are kept and curated. So
See, I need a job like that. That's where I belong. That's like right in my wheelhouse. If you have that sort of opportunity out there, let me know. I would love to curate something like that.
It'd be so fun.
But the funds and the means to do it are what that's what makes
could
it
be
tough.
some of these guys. I mean,
And
they
also
have-
the time. If it's not your full time job,
yeah.
to do that, like it's just a hobby for me. So I have stuff that's not where it should be probably, but like I'll get there.
Get there. Well, cool. Well, that's been a cool show. We'll have to have you back because there's going to be a lot more to talk about.
Oh man, yeah, I've got a lot coming down the pike. So
I love
let's
it.
do it again.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Mickey, for coming down here. We haven't had
pleasure.
a chance to kind of bring you on the pod, and obviously we plan on adding more episodes, so we'll be looking forward to bringing you back.
Cool.
Can you let the people know where they can find out more about you, Throtl,
yeah.
and of course, when you do go public with more of your collection, how they can figure that out too?
Sure. So let's start with Throtl. So if you aren't already subscribing to the Throtl YouTube channel, you should. We built some pretty cool stuff there. It's just THROTL, just like my cap. And all the socials are the same. So any of the socials will be Throtl. Me personally, just Mickey Andrade, my name on socials, and Round Cat Garage on Instagram. And what was the last question?
Nope, just looking at where we can find it in your shop. That's it.
Oh, yeah, in my shop. I don't have any plans to open that to the public anytime soon. So just follow the Round Cat Garage page, and when it does happen, it'll happen there.
Well, thanks again, Mickey. My name is Rich Waitas. You can find me on my personal socials at Oxidizer, OXIDIZR.
And I'm Jerry Zaiden, everywhere on socials at Jerry Zaiden. And for more on the show on YouTube, it's at Magnaflow TV. And all socials is at Magnaflow. This has been the MF Show.